Hello everyone, it's Sue Ralph here with Birdcage Craft Studio, and I'm here today with my crafting tip from me to you, and this is number 37. Yesterday I showed you a tip on how that you could use your wet wipes as a stamp pad by putting re-inkers down. Then I also went on to tell you that if you let them dry out, you can then actually I used watered down PVA glue to then attach them to a piece of paper or cardstock, and you could use them for embellishments for any of your projects so that you weren't wasting anything. So when you do the re-inker onto cardstock, that's what it looks like, which I think is very pretty. It's nice autumn colours. But when you use a baby wipe, and I actually added some glitter to it, can you see it's a lot more subtle? And I don't know if the camera will pick this up very well, but it's almost got like a flocked look to it, because obviously that's the material showing through from the baby wipe. And the way I did it was that I actually stuck my wet wipe onto a piece of cardstock, as I said, with PVA glue, and then I went over it with some glitter and let that dry overnight. And then what I actually did was I used the Wondrous Wreath stamp set, and I put my stamp onto a stamping pad, and then what I did is I inked it all up with an ink, and in this case I used Pumpkin Pie. It's one of my favourite inks. And then I used some of the Wild Wasabi, and I used a dauber, and then what I just did, I just picked some ink up and I just dotted it on top of the orange, just to get it a different look, so it's not all just a deep orange. And then what I did then is I actually used this and I stamped it straight onto the wet wipe. I haven't got enough room to show you on this piece. If I just turn the card over, and you can actually see that it's come out in two different colours. There we go, hopefully that'll pick it up. So with this one, it actually just picks out the leaves very, very subtly. You can't really see it very well. But what I was going to say is that because it's on cardstock, I've actually just put this one through the machine and it's come out no problem whatsoever. There's some little fibres with the wet wipe and sometimes they catch, but because it's on card, it's actually given it it's a little bit more stable to sort of cut it out. It cuts all the way through, and that's what you end up, and I think that's quite an attractive look. As I said, it almost looks flocked compared to if you do it this way. So you could actually, instead of doing the wet wipe, if you didn't want to get your card to look multicoloured, your stamp area, you could do what I just did. Put your main ink down first, then use a dauber to put some colour on, and then you'll come out with this sort of effect. But the other thing I just wanted to move on to, when I did some flowers, I think that was tip 35, that was the flowers. I haven't actually done anything with them at the moment. I had the wet wipe left over, and I don't know if you remember, but I got really inky fingers, but there's no ink on them now, it's fine. But what I actually did, I didn't stick it to the cardstock this time, I just laid a piece of paper underneath, and then that went through the Big Shot, no problem at all. So now I have some nice flowers which look as if they're on material, which I could layer up, you know, and stick together and have as an embellishment for, you know, a card or probably not a scrapbook, just in case it gets a little bit damp or anything, because the colour may still come out on these. But that's still quite a good way to actually, you know, to use these little bits of tissue, which is quite a good way. And then also you've got the pieces that you've actually die cut from the card underneath. And so that, you know, there's quite a few ways that you can use up wet wipes, and I just think it gives you a different material to play with. So have a go, use your wet wipes. As I said, sort of stick them down onto your cardstock with some watered down PVA glue, and then use your glitter. And then what you can do once you've got the glitter on, if you're worried that it's going to come off, one of the things that you can do is to use Crystal Effects or diamond glaze, and just use a paintbrush and just paint some over the top, and then that will actually stop the glitter coming off. But this one is an extra fine glitter, and it's actually not too bad because it's gone into the fibres. Just going back to these again, when you do cut them out, if they're not stuck down onto anything, you might find that in some areas where the fibres haven't gone, it hasn't cut through the fibres, you might just have to get yourself a pair of scissors. I don't know if you can see that just there, but it's sort of caught after I took it out of the machine. But just get yourself a sharp pair of snips, and it will all come out. It's not a problem at all. But I just think, you know, to use a wet wipe, which hasn't cost you anything, and you come out with such a nice effect. And as I said, you know, it looks quite Christmassy. You can do it with any colours that you like to. Okay, so I'll be back with another tip tomorrow. See you then. Bye.